In a world teeming with individuals from all walks of life, each possessing a unique blend of virtues and vices, navigating the complex landscape of human interaction can feel like traversing a minefield. The ancient Stoics, renowned for their wisdom in cultivating inner peace and resilience, offered invaluable guidance on discerning the types of individuals who pose a threat to our well-being. They understood that our associations profoundly shape our character and influence our path towards a virtuous life. To safeguard ourselves from unnecessary suffering and to cultivate a life of tranquility, the Stoics advised a conscious and deliberate approach to choosing our companions, urging us to identify and distance ourselves from those who embody traits that are detrimental to our moral and emotional health. This is not about misanthropy or isolation, it is about creating boundaries, protecting your inner peace, and fostering relationships that support your growth as a human being. This video and accompanying discussion will explore 15 such personality types flagged by Stoic philosophy as being potentially harmful. By understanding these toxic traits, we can better identify them in our own lives and take proactive steps to protect our peace of mind and cultivate more fulfilling relationships. We will delve into the specific behaviors, motivations, and potential impact of each type, drawing upon the wisdom of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus to illuminate the path towards a more virtuous and serene existence. This is not simply about avoidance, but about self-awareness, recognizing these tendencies within ourselves, and striving to be better. The Stoics believed that by understanding what to avoid, we better understand what to pursue. The flatterer, the seduction of false praise. The Stoics held a deep suspicion of flattery, viewing it as a deceptive tool often employed by individuals with ulterior motives. A flatterer is not someone who offers genuine appreciation or sincere compliments. Instead, they lavish praise and accolades to an exaggerated and often unrealistic degree. Their intention is not to uplift or encourage, but to manipulate and exploit. The Stoics understood that we all have a natural desire for validation and recognition, and the flatterer preys upon this inherent human need. They strategically offer what they perceive we crave, hoping to gain our favor, influence, or access to resources. This excessive praise is not rooted in genuine admiration but is a calculated tactic to achieve a specific objective. The danger of the flatterer lies in their ability to cloud our judgment. When we are constantly showered with praise, we may become blinded to our flaws and weaknesses. We may begin to believe the exaggerated claims, leading to arrogance and a distorted sense of self-importance. This can ultimately hinder our personal growth, as we become less receptive to constructive criticism and less motivated to strive for improvement. Moreover, associating with flatterers can lead to social isolation. Genuine individuals are often repelled by the constant need for validation and the superficiality that characterizes these relationships. We may find ourselves surrounded by sycophants who reinforce our ego but offer little in the way of true friendship or meaningful connection. The Stoics urged us to cultivate discernment and self-awareness to resist the allure of flattery. We must learn to distinguish between genuine appreciation and insincere praise. A sincere compliment is specific, authentic, and offered without expectation of reward. Flattery, on the other hand, is often general, exaggerated, and accompanied by a hidden agenda. We should question the motivations behind excessive praise and be wary of those who seem to be constantly trying to win our favor. As Epictetus wisely stated, if anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." This reinforces the need for self-awareness. Knowing our own flaws makes us less susceptible to the empty praise of others. The path to virtuous living lies not in seeking the approval of others but in striving for inner excellence. We should focus on developing our character, cultivating wisdom, and living in accordance with our values, rather than seeking validation through external praise. By grounding our self-worth in our internal compass, we become less vulnerable to the manipulative tactics of flatterers and more resilient in the face of criticism. Ultimately, the best defense against flattery is a strong sense of self-awareness and a commitment to living a life of integrity. The greedy, a hunger that can never be satisfied. Greed, according to the Stoics, is a corrosive force that consumes the soul and distorts our perception of what truly matters in life. It is an insatiable hunger for material possessions, wealth, and status, a relentless pursuit that leaves the individual perpetually dissatisfied and morally compromised. The greedy are not simply those who desire a comfortable life, they are those whose lives are defined by their desire for more. They prioritize material accumulation above all else, sacrificing their values, relationships, and even their own well-being in the relentless pursuit of wealth. The Stoics recognize that greed stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of happiness and fulfillment. The greedy believe that external possessions will bring them lasting satisfaction, but they are perpetually chasing an illusion. No amount of wealth is ever enough to fill the void within, and the more they accumulate, the more they crave. This constant desire creates a state of perpetual anxiety and dissatisfaction, preventing them from experiencing true peace and contentment. Furthermore, greed often leads to unethical behavior. The greedy are willing to exploit, deceive, and even harm others in their relentless pursuit of wealth. They see life as a zero-sum game, where their gain must come at the expense of others. This creates a climate of distrust and animosity, eroding the bonds of community and undermining the foundations of a just society. The Stoics advocated for a radical shift in perspective, urging us to cultivate contentment and to focus on the things that truly matter: virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. They believe that true wealth lies not in the abundance of our possessions but in the richness of our character. We should strive to live a simple life, free from the burden of unnecessary desires, and to find satisfaction in the present moment. As Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of generosity and compassion. Instead of hoarding our wealth, we should use it to help those in need, contributing to the well-being of our community and fostering a sense of shared humanity. By shifting our focus from acquisition to contribution, we can break free from the grip of greed and discover the true meaning of wealth, the ability to make a positive difference in the world. Ultimately, the antidote to greed is a conscious commitment to living a virtuous life, grounded in the principles of justice, compassion, and contentment. The envious, poisoned by the success of others. Envy, in the eyes of the Stoics, is a particularly insidious emotion, a corrosive force that eats away at our inner peace and distorts our perception of reality. It is a feeling of resentment and discontent triggered by the talents, possessions, or successes of others. The envious do not simply admire or appreciate the good fortune of others, they actively resent it, viewing it as a personal affront or a sign of their own inadequacy. This resentment breeds insecurity, bitterness, and a desire to undermine those they envy. The Stoics understood that envy stems from a scarcity mindset, the belief that resources are limited and that another person's gain must necessarily come at our expense. This creates a sense of competition and rivalry, preventing us from celebrating the successes of others and fostering a spirit of collaboration and mutual support. Furthermore, envy often leads to destructive behavior. The envious may attempt to belittle the achievements of others, spread malicious rumors, or even sabotage their efforts. They are unable to find joy in the success of others, as it serves as a constant reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. This can lead to social isolation, as people are naturally repelled by negativity and resentment. The Stoics urged us to cultivate a mindset of abundance, recognizing that there is enough success and happiness to go around for everyone. Instead of resenting the good fortune of others, we should strive to emulate their virtues and learn from their experiences. We should celebrate their achievements and find inspiration in their success, using it as motivation to pursue our own goals and develop our own talents. As Seneca wisely advised, rejoice in another's good fortune, give praise when deserved. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of self-improvement. Instead of focusing on what others have, we should focus on developing our own character and cultivating our own potential. We should strive to become the best version of ourselves, not out of a desire to surpass others, but out of a commitment to personal excellence. By shifting our focus from external comparison to internal growth, we can break free from the grip of envy and discover true contentment. Ultimately, the antidote to envy is a combination of self-awareness, gratitude, and a commitment to personal growth. The angry, consumed by rage and resentment. Chronic anger, according to the Stoics, is a destructive force that poisons the soul and clouds the mind. It is a state of intense emotional arousal characterized by feelings of resentment, bitterness, and a desire for revenge. The chronically angry are easily provoked, quick to take offense, and prone to frequent outbursts of rage. Their anger consumes their thoughts, distorts their perceptions, and prevents them from acting rationally and constructively. The Stoics recognize that while anger is a natural human emotion, it is essential to manage it effectively to prevent it from controlling our lives. The Stoics understood that anger often stems from unmet expectations and a sense of injustice. The angry person feels that they have been wronged, that they have not received what they deserve, or that the world is somehow unfair. This sense of grievance fuels their resentment and makes them prone to lashing out at others. Furthermore, anger can become a self-perpetuating cycle. When we give in to our anger, we reinforce the neural pathways in our brain that make us more likely to react with anger in the future. This can lead to a pattern of chronic anger that is difficult to break. The chronically angry often damage their relationships, alienate their friends and family, and create a climate of fear and tension around them. Their uncontrolled temper erodes trust and makes it difficult to maintain healthy connections. The Stoics advocated for a proactive approach to managing anger, emphasizing the importance of self-control, reason, and perspective. They believed that we should strive to understand the root causes of our anger, to identify the triggers that set us off, and to develop strategies for managing our emotional reactions. As Seneca noted, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Creating space between the provocation and the reaction gives you time to choose a more rational response. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of forgiveness and acceptance. Instead of dwelling on past wrongs, we should strive to forgive those who have wronged us and to accept the things that we cannot change. We should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, rather than on trying to control the behavior of others. By cultivating a sense of inner peace and acceptance, we can diminish the power of anger and live a more tranquil and fulfilling life. Ultimately, the antidote to anger is a combination of self-awareness, self-control, and a commitment to living in accordance with reason and virtue. The complainer, drowning in a sea of negativity. The chronic complainer, according to the Stoics, is a tiresome individual who spreads negativity and drains the energy of those around them. They are perpetually dissatisfied with their circumstances, constantly finding fault with everything and everyone. Their complaints are often petty, trivial, and unproductive, serving only to reinforce their own unhappiness and to drag down the mood of those within earshot. The Stoics recognize that while it is natural to express concerns and frustrations from time to time, chronic complaining is a destructive habit that prevents us from taking constructive action and finding joy in life. The Stoics understood that complaining often stems from a sense of powerlessness and a desire for attention. The complainer feels that they are a victim of circumstances, unable to change their situation, and they seek sympathy and validation from others. However, their complaining rarely leads to positive change. Instead, it reinforces their negative mindset and creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. Furthermore, chronic complaining can be contagious. When we are constantly surrounded by negativity, it can be difficult to maintain a positive outlook and to focus on the good things in our lives. This can lead to a sense of despair and the feeling that nothing will ever improve. The Stoics advocated for a proactive approach to dealing with complaints, emphasizing the importance of focusing on what we can control and taking constructive action to improve our circumstances. Instead of dwelling on the negative, we should strive to identify solutions to our problems and to take steps to implement those solutions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" This applies equally to complaining. The act of complaining magnifies the problem. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of gratitude and appreciation. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we should strive to appreciate what we have, to find joy in the simple things in life, and to cultivate a sense of contentment. By shifting our focus from negativity to positivity, we can break free from the cycle of complaining and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Ultimately, the antidote to complaining is a combination of self-awareness, proactive problem-solving, and a conscious effort to cultivate gratitude and appreciation. The self-pitying, trapped in a prison of woe. Self-pity, in the Stoic view, is a debilitating emotion that traps individuals in a cycle of negativity and prevents them from taking responsibility for their lives. Those who indulge in self-pity constantly lament their misfortunes, portraying themselves as victims of circumstance and blaming others for their problems. They seek sympathy and attention, often exaggerating their difficulties to elicit compassion. The Stoics recognize that while experiencing hardship is a part of life, wallowing in self-pity is a destructive habit that hinders personal growth and prevents individuals from finding happiness. The roots of self-pity often lie in a lack of self-esteem and a fear of taking responsibility. People who engage in self-pity may feel inadequate or unworthy, and they use their misfortunes as a way to avoid facing their own shortcomings. By blaming others for their problems, they can avoid taking responsibility for their actions and making the necessary changes to improve their lives. Furthermore, self-pity can be a form of manipulation. By portraying themselves as victims, individuals may seek to control others and elicit sympathy, which they then use to their advantage. This behavior can damage relationships and create a sense of resentment among those who are constantly being asked to provide support and reassurance. The Stoics advocated for a proactive approach to overcoming self-pity, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness, acceptance, and personal responsibility. They believe that individuals should strive to understand the root causes of their self-pity and to challenge the negative thoughts and beliefs that perpetuate it. As Epictetus said, it is not things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about these things. This emphasizes the power of perspective. Changing how we view our misfortunes can lessen their impact. Moreover, the Stoics encouraged individuals to focus on what they can control, rather than dwelling on what they cannot. This means taking responsibility for their actions, making positive changes in their lives, and focusing on their own personal growth. By shifting their focus from their problems to their potential, individuals can break free from the cycle of self-pity and find a sense of purpose and meaning in their lives. Ultimately, the antidote to self-pity is self-awareness, acceptance, and a commitment to taking responsibility for one's own well-being. The arrogant, blinded by an inflated ego. Arrogance, in the Stoic view, is a dangerous character flaw that blinds individuals to their own limitations and prevents them from learning and growing. Arrogant people possess an exaggerated sense of their own importance and abilities, often believing that they are superior to others. They are quick to dismiss the opinions of others, resistant to criticism, and prone to boasting about their accomplishments. The Stoics recognize that arrogance is a sign of ignorance and insecurity, and that it ultimately leads to unhappiness and isolation. The roots of arrogance often lie in a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. People who are arrogant may feel insecure about their abilities or their worth, and they use their arrogance as a defense mechanism to protect themselves from criticism and rejection. By projecting an image of superiority, they hope to convince others, and themselves, that they are worthy of admiration and respect. Furthermore, arrogance can be a way of controlling others. By asserting their dominance and dismissing the opinions of others, arrogant people can gain power and influence over those around them. This behavior can damage relationships and create a climate of fear and resentment. The Stoics advocated for cultivating humility and self-awareness as antidotes to arrogance. They believe that individuals should strive to understand their own limitations and to recognize that everyone has something to learn from others. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Remember how short is the period during which you will have to observe human things, and how short a space remains to you. Live as on a mountain." This encourages a broader perspective, humbling us in the face of the vastness of existence. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of seeking feedback from others and being open to criticism. By listening to the opinions of others, even when they are difficult to hear, individuals can gain valuable insights into their own weaknesses and areas for improvement. Ultimately, the antidote to arrogance is humility, self-awareness, and a commitment to lifelong learning. The selfish, driven by unrelenting self-interest. Selfishness, in Stoic philosophy, represents a fundamental disconnect from our shared humanity. It is a relentless prioritization of one's own needs and desires above the well-being of others, leading to a disregard for their feelings, interests, and even basic rights. Selfish individuals often exploit relationships for personal gain, lacking empathy and viewing others as mere instruments to fulfill their own ambitions. The Stoics considered selfishness a significant impediment to living a virtuous and fulfilling life, as it undermines the principles of justice, compassion, and social responsibility. The roots of selfishness often lie in a deep-seated insecurity and a fear of scarcity. Selfish individuals may believe that there is not enough to go around, leading them to hoard resources and opportunities for themselves, even at the expense of others. They may also lack a strong sense of self-worth, seeking validation and fulfillment through material possessions and external achievements, rather than through cultivating inner virtues. Furthermore, selfishness can be reinforced by societal values that prioritize individual success and competition over cooperation and altruism. The Stoics advocated for cultivating altruism and a sense of interconnectedness as antidotes to selfishness. They believed that individuals should strive to recognize their shared humanity and to act in ways that benefit the greater good, even when it requires personal sacrifice. As Seneca stated, "Whatever you do, consider the end." This encourages reflection on the long-term impact of our actions on others, deterring selfish impulses. Moreover, the Stoics emphasized the importance of developing empathy and compassion. By understanding and sharing in the feelings of others, individuals can break free from the narrow confines of their own self-interest and develop a genuine concern for the well-being of those around them. Ultimately, the antidote to selfishness is altruism, empathy, and a commitment to living a life of service to others. The stubborn, immovable in the face of reason. Stubbornness, as understood by the Stoics, is not simply firmness of conviction but rather an inflexible adherence to one's own opinions, even in the face of compelling evidence or reasoned arguments to the contrary. Stubborn individuals are resistant to new ideas, unwilling to compromise, and often prioritize being right over seeking the truth or finding a mutually beneficial solution. The Stoics saw stubbornness as a form of intellectual arrogance that hinders learning, growth, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. The roots of stubbornness often lie in a fear of being wrong or a need to maintain control. Stubborn individuals may feel threatened by new information or alternative perspectives, as these can challenge their existing beliefs and sense of self. They may also use stubbornness as a way to assert their dominance and resist being influenced by others. Furthermore, stubbornness can be reinforced by a lack of self-awareness and an unwillingness to acknowledge one's own fallibility. The Stoics advocated for cultivating open-mindedness and intellectual humility as antidotes to stubbornness. They believed that individuals should be willing to challenge their own beliefs, to consider alternative perspectives, and to admit when they are wrong. As Marcus Aurelius advised, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This emphasizes the importance of holding ourselves accountable for our own intellectual rigidity. Moreover, the Stoics emphasized the importance of seeking wisdom and understanding. By constantly striving to learn and grow, individuals can develop a more nuanced and flexible understanding of the world, making them less prone to stubbornness and more open to new ideas. Ultimately, the antidote to stubbornness is open-mindedness, intellectual humility, and a commitment to lifelong learning. The insensitive, lacking empathy and consideration. Insensitivity, in the Stoic view, represents a failure to recognize and respond appropriately to the feelings and needs of others. Insensitive individuals lack empathy, the ability to understand and share the emotions of others, leading them to act in ways that are hurtful, offensive, or dismissive. They may be unaware of the impact of their words and actions, or they may simply not care, prioritizing their own comfort and convenience over the well-being of those around them. The Stoics considered insensitivity a significant obstacle to building and maintaining healthy relationships, as it undermines trust, respect, and mutual understanding. The roots of insensitivity often lie in a lack of self-awareness and a limited perspective. Insensitive individuals may be so focused on their own thoughts and feelings that they fail to notice or appreciate the emotions of others. They may also lack the social skills and emotional intelligence necessary to navigate complex interpersonal situations. Furthermore, insensitivity can be reinforced by societal norms that prioritize logic and rationality over emotions and empathy. The Stoics advocated for cultivating empathy and compassion as antidotes to insensitivity. They believed that individuals should strive to understand the perspectives of others, to recognize their emotions, and to respond with kindness and understanding. As Seneca wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for a kindness." This emphasizes the constant opportunity to practice empathy and compassion in our daily interactions. Moreover, the Stoics emphasized the importance of practicing self-reflection and seeking feedback from others. By becoming more aware of their own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, individuals can identify and address their own tendencies toward insensitivity. Ultimately, the antidote to insensitivity is empathy, compassion, and a commitment to treating others with respect and understanding. The cynical, skeptical to a fault. Cynicism, in Stoic philosophy, isn't simply healthy skepticism, it's a pervasive distrust of others' motives and a general negativity towards the world. Cynical individuals often assume the worst, dismissing sincerity and idealism as naive or foolish. They tend to focus on flaws and imperfections, overlooking the good in people and situations. While a healthy dose of skepticism can be beneficial, excessive cynicism can be corrosive, hindering relationships and preventing individuals from experiencing joy and fulfillment. The roots of cynicism often lie in past disappointments and betrayals. Cynical individuals may have experienced situations where they were let down, manipulated, or taken advantage of, leading them to develop a protective layer of distrust. They may also use cynicism as a way to feel superior, believing that they are more intelligent or insightful than those who are more optimistic or trusting. Furthermore, cynicism can be reinforced by exposure to negative news and information, creating a distorted view of reality. The Stoics advocated for cultivating optimism and trust as antidotes to cynicism, while maintaining a rational perspective. They believed that individuals should strive to see the good in others, to believe in the possibility of positive outcomes, and to approach life with a sense of hope and possibility. As Marcus Aurelius advised, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This emphasizes the importance of embracing life's circumstances and fostering genuine connections with others. Moreover, the Stoics emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of the world, we should strive to make a positive difference in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. Ultimately, the antidote to cynicism is optimism, trust, and a commitment to creating a better world. The manipulative, masters of deception. Manipulation, in the Stoic ethical framework, is considered a severe breach of virtue, representing a calculated attempt to control or exploit others for personal gain. Manipulative individuals employ deceit, coercion, and emotional ploys to influence behavior, often masking their true intentions behind a facade of charm or concern. The Stoics condemned manipulation as a form of injustice and a betrayal of trust, arguing that it undermines the foundations of ethical relationships and societal harmony. The roots of manipulative behavior are often found in insecurity and a desire for power. Manipulative individuals may lack a strong sense of self-worth, leading them to seek validation and control through dominating others. They may also have learned manipulative tactics in their upbringing or from observing others in positions of power. Furthermore, manipulative behavior can be reinforced by a lack of empathy and a disregard for the well-being of others. The Stoics advocated for cultivating honesty, transparency, and assertiveness as antidotes to manipulation. They believed that individuals should strive to communicate their needs and desires directly, without resorting to deceit or coercion. As Epictetus stated, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This emphasizes the importance of self-knowledge and aligning our actions with our values. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of setting boundaries and protecting oneself from exploitation. By recognizing manipulative tactics and refusing to be swayed by them, individuals can maintain their autonomy and protect their own well-being. Ultimately, the antidote to manipulation is honesty, assertiveness, and a commitment to ethical behavior. The reckless, ignoring consequences. Recklessness, in the Stoic view, is a lack of prudence and self-control, leading individuals to act impulsively and without regard for the potential consequences of their actions. Reckless individuals often engage in risky behaviors, disregard warnings, and fail to consider the impact of their choices on themselves and others. The Stoics saw recklessness as a sign of irrationality and a failure to exercise virtue, as it can lead to harm, suffering, and the disruption of social order. The roots of recklessness often lie in a desire for excitement and a lack of appreciation for the value of safety and well-being. Reckless individuals may be driven by a need for novelty, a desire to impress others, or a belief that they are invulnerable to harm. They may also lack the skills and knowledge necessary to assess risks accurately and make informed decisions. Furthermore, recklessness can be reinforced by peer pressure and societal norms that glorify risk-taking behavior. The Stoics advocated for cultivating prudence, self-control, and a respect for consequences as antidotes to recklessness. They believed that individuals should strive to make rational decisions, to weigh the potential risks and rewards of their actions, and to consider the impact of their choices on themselves and others. As Seneca noted, he suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. This encourages us to avoid anticipating and creating problems through reckless actions. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of developing self-discipline and resisting impulsive urges. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating inner strength, individuals can resist the temptation to act recklessly and make choices that align with their long-term goals and values. Ultimately, the antidote to recklessness is prudence, self-control, and a commitment to responsible decision-making. The unprincipled, devoid of moral compass. Unprincipled behavior, in Stoic ethics, represents a complete disregard for moral principles and ethical conduct. Unprincipled individuals are willing to lie, cheat, steal, and exploit others to achieve their goals, without any sense of remorse or ethical constraint. They lack a moral compass and prioritize personal gain over integrity, justice, and the well-being of others. The Stoics considered unprincipled behavior to be the antithesis of virtue and a grave threat to social order. The roots of unprincipled behavior often lie in a lack of moral education and a distorted sense of values. Unprincipled individuals may have grown up in environments where unethical behavior was normalized or even rewarded. They may also lack empathy and a sense of social responsibility, leading them to disregard the harm they inflict on others. Furthermore, unprincipled behavior can be reinforced by societal systems that prioritize wealth, power, and success over ethical conduct. The Stoics advocated for cultivating virtue, integrity, and a strong moral compass as antidotes to unprincipled behavior. They believed that individuals should strive to live in accordance with ethical principles, to treat others with fairness and respect, and to prioritize integrity over personal gain. As Marcus Aurelius stated, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. This emphasizes the importance of taking action and embodying ethical principles in our daily lives. Moreover, the Stoics emphasize the importance of developing self-awareness and a sense of accountability. By reflecting on their own actions and seeking feedback from others, individuals can identify and correct their own tendencies toward unethical behavior. Ultimately, the antidote to unprincipled behavior is virtue, integrity, and a commitment to living a life of ethical excellence. The vicious, actively seeking to inflict harm. Viciousness, in Stoic philosophy, represents the most depraved state of human character, characterized by a deliberate and malicious intent to inflict harm on others. Vicious individuals derive pleasure from causing pain, suffering, and destruction, often exhibiting cruelty, sadism, and a complete disregard for the well-being of their victims. The Stoics considered viciousness to be the ultimate corruption of the soul and a grave threat to the fabric of society. The roots of viciousness are complex and multifaceted, often stemming from a combination of genetic predispositions, environmental factors, and traumatic experiences. Vicious individuals may have suffered abuse, neglect, or other forms of trauma in their childhood, leading them to develop a deep-seated hatred and resentment towards others. They may also lack empathy and a sense of morality, making them incapable of understanding or caring about the suffering of their victims. Furthermore, viciousness can be reinforced by societal systems that glorify violence, aggression, and dominance. The Stoics recognized that dealing with vicious individuals is a complex and challenging task. They emphasized the importance of protecting oneself and others from harm, while also seeking to understand the roots of viciousness and to promote justice and accountability. They did not advocate for condoning or excusing vicious behavior, but rather for addressing the underlying causes and preventing future acts of violence. Due to the dangers associated with vicious individuals, the most rational course of action in most instances is to remove these people from your life to ensure your personal safety and mental well-being. Moreover, the Stoics emphasized the importance of cultivating compassion, empathy, and a commitment to justice as antidotes to viciousness. By promoting a culture of understanding, respect, and non-violence, societies can create an environment that is less conducive to the development and expression of vicious behavior. Ultimately, the antidote to viciousness is compassion, justice, and a commitment to creating a more peaceful and humane world. The Stoic perspective on toxic personalities offers a timeless guide for navigating the complexities of human relationships and safeguarding our inner peace. By recognizing the traits of the flatterer, the greedy, the envious, the angry, the complainer, the self-pitying, the arrogant, the selfish, the stubborn, the insensitive, the cynical, the manipulative, the reckless, the unprincipled, and the vicious, we can make informed choices about who we allow into our lives. This is not about judgment or condemnation, but about self-protection and the cultivation of a virtuous life. The Stoics understood that our associations profoundly shape our character and influence our well-being. By consciously choosing to surround ourselves with individuals who embody qualities of integrity, compassion, and wisdom, we can foster a supportive environment for personal growth and create a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Remember, the journey towards Stoic serenity begins with self-awareness, wise choices, and a commitment to living in accordance with virtue. We must strive to embody the virtues we seek in others, recognizing that our own actions have a profound impact on the world around us. The Stoic path is not about avoiding the world, but about engaging with it mindfully, protecting our inner peace, and contributing to the well-being of all. So, take the lessons learned today, reflect on your own relationships, and make conscious choices to cultivate a life filled with virtue, wisdom, and tranquility. The Stoic way is a journey, not a destination, and every step we take towards self-improvement brings us closer to a life of true fulfillment.